What's up guys, it's me Ikid here, and today I'm going to review Mafia 3 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and the PC, which was released in October, I think the 7th of 2016. So as you know, this is like live, so essentially what I'm meaning is like I'm talking as I'm playing, so if I crash or if I die I may react, so bear with me on that. So yeah, so here I'm gonna just review Mafia 3, give my perspective on it, and you know, so on, so on. As you know, Mafia 3 is regarded one of the worst Mafia games, due to it being like, you know, a shift from like, sort of, how would I say, like, wise guy sort of vibe, like, it kind of shift from the atmosphere. And people weren't exactly happy with that, especially the fact that the protagonist Lincoln Clay is mixed race, and which, as he's not Italian, and that's why people kind of got wound up about that, and how it's like essentially it's just a revenge telling story, and it kind of steers away from the Sicilian traditions of the other two Mafia games. So yeah, so from my opinion, from the way I see it, is Mafia 3, I think this has actually been a good direction, a good decision that Hangar 13 made, because if this game was another wise guy telling narrative, linear sort of game, then it would just be very repetitive, and essentially what's the difference? I mean, because this is what gripe I had about Mafia 2, it's just like, I feel like it's very similar. At the end of the day, they're both narratives, they're both linear. That's one thing I especially hated with Mafia 2, and how we end up going, we're opposed to our bosses then, essentially how, you know, Tommy goes on the run from Salieri, and Vito kills Falcone. So yeah, whereas this one, essentially I kind of liked how it is. It's basically essentially Lincoln Clay takes revenge. Basically Lincoln Clay and the Black Mob get betrayed by Sal Marcano and his organization. So essentially, after, you know, when you just recovered from the skull, from the bullet that deflected on your skull, you essentially you go on a revenge killing spree, and you take over Marcano's empire. So essentially you take over Rackets first, you assign them to your underbosses, so that's Vito, Cassandra and Burke, and you assign, and if when you assign both to Rackets to someone, or you can mix it up with it actually a bit, then you can assign a district, but usually you would kill the lieutenant first and then you will first, but there's like for some that you kill the capo, or it may take a bit longer. For example, South Downs, you have to rescue Alvarez first before you kill Marcano in order to take down South Downs. I know it's spoiler alert, but is it really that deep? Because considering no one's not really going to watch my review, so I don't really give a shit if you're going to really like complain about, oh, why are you spoiling the game? I'm like, come on, at this point everyone knows the fucking game. So yeah, essentially I kind of like the shift in direction that, you know, it is. I mean, it's not typical, you know, sort of wise guy, and I like that shift in focus with just, and especially with the context that the game is set in. So essentially this game is set in the 68s, opposed to Mafia 1 and 2, which were set in the 30s and the 50s. And I like that because it's set in New Bordeaux, which is based off New Orleans, which is situated in Louisiana. So I like the context, how, you know, racism was portrayed. For example, kind of like how when you go to some stores, the owner won't let you because you're black, and you know little intricate details like that really make up for the game's atmosphere, if I got to tell you. But the one thing I do not like about Mafia 3 is that they got rid of the speeding. So driving, I mean, essentially Gamer Ranks, they talked about how tedious the driving is, but honestly I think the driving is actually good. I mean, clearly they were talking about how Mafia 1 and 2 was very slow and clunky cars, but you got to really bear in mind that if we're talking about the context here, these are 1960s cars. For example, cars like the Camaro, the Chevelle, these cars go like 120 miles per hour. They don't go like fucking 60 at best. So you've got to bear in that mind. So if they're fast and all that, I feel like it really perfectly fits the content, especially, you know, with the simulation driving. I thought that was pretty cool, even though it's a bitch to brake and then move, but you know, you kind of get what I'm trying to say. So I completely disagree on that one. And you know, so yeah, Another thing I do not like is, since outfits... Oh shit. Fuck me. Oh, crap. Like, another thing I really fucking hate with Mafia 3 is it's just the pre-rendered cutscene. So essentially, you couldn't, at launch, you couldn't essentially change your outfits, which, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, really, do you really think, I mean, come on, what game with third person, like a GTA clone, won't have character customization? It's fucking 2016 now. Literally all of them pretty much have it. Or, well, majority do. It's not fucking GTA 3, man. God forbid. But, you know, because since it's an afterthought and Hangar 13 was so fucking lazy, they decided to pre-render some cutscenes. So essentially, like, some cutscene, for example, if I'm wearing the On the Prowl outfit, the one with the hat, essentially, in some cutscenes, it will go back to its army outfit, which is annoying. So some cutscene is very hit and miss with the outfits. The outfits, they're okay. I really like the Mr. Clay and his normal outfit, and this one as well, which I'm wearing, the alternative one. But, like, that was another thing. So essentially, and like, what's its name? They revealed these new outfits, but like in September. But they stated that, oh, it's not coming on launch, but it'll come in an update. It was very stupid of Hangar 13, honestly. So yeah. And another thing I don't like about the game is that you can only hold 2 weapons at a time, and the ammo is bare minimum. So essentially, you can only, for example, this one has decent amount of ammo, but it's kind of stupid how underbosses, like, you need to kill, you need to, like, increase their favor so that you can get it, and it's not enough. That's the only thing I don't like. You say the speeding, the outfits, and oh yeah, and I agree with the environment a bit. Even like how I was talking about social context, I feel like just the pedestrians around, I do kind of feel like they're a bit bland at times. But the only reason why I wanted to use, I forgot who only raised this issue, was because many, like, there's not really many missions that often make you like walk around or anything, well, except like there's few missions, but because mainly this game is like non-continuous shooting, and that's one thing I love about Mafia 3 is the gameplay is brilliant. This was a huge problem in Mafia 2 because the shooting was very clunky, like the way Vito aimed his gun and all that, it was very just whereas Mafia 3, they greatly improved on that. So you got to give Hangar 13 props for that. That's what makes this game so fun. It's kind of like with GTA 3, how I love the gameplay. It's games that can continuously, like, keep playing. So yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks as well, like, with the vehicles as well. Like, they also, like, added another mandatory thing, like, kind of a very requested that should have been, is like big rigs. Essentially, basically, like, because as I said, it was like an afterthought, they wouldn't really, you know, they won't play roles as much in the main story, they won't play minimal. Big Rick is just there, that's the problem. See, now it's underutilized, whereas in Mafia 2 you had scenes where you get cars and you store them and you respray. See, if we see, like, that's the thing, see, they weren't utilized. That was the problem with all these new features. They're thinking that, oh, we've solved everything, but guess what, no, you haven't. So yeah, the story of this game is really good though, but I do see where people are repetitive. But my view from honestly the game being very repetitive, honestly, due to me just having like a fun, it's your personal opinion, but like due to the game like having non-continuous shooting and fluid gameplay, it just makes me love the game. That's all. I love the gameplay, so I don't really like get tired of the repetition or anything. So, you know, yeah. Whereas I feel like with Mafia 2, like, you kind of, it was kind of, the missions were boring as fuck. They really were. I only really liked the last mission. And was it the one where you kill those triads? And actually there's another one thing about Mafia 3 is that, oh, how do I say? It's like, there was this one guy in the comment, and like, he talked about how Mafia 3 is a killing white simulator, which is kind of stupid to think about, because probably he's those guys that actually do love Mafia 2 thinking, oh, is this that? Bro, Mafia 2, yeah, had you killing fucking Chinese people. So essentially that's an Asian simulator itself. You know, some people just can't bear it and all that. And then there was also these people who were nitpicking on about the little details Mafia 3 is missing on. And that is like not being able to close on doors. I know with the racket bosses and with the racket informants, oh, I don't know how to say it. And like, you know, like where all the underbosses are, it shuts the door, but like other situations where it doesn't, you can't close it. Is it that big of a deal that you can't? Wow. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a much better game in that regard. Like, who cares about closing the door? Actually, it was kind of annoying because then you have to wait for Joe to get out and then, you know, the AI. So, you know, essentially in that regard, it's not that big of a deal. So, yeah. So, I've not played the DLC, so I can't say for sure. But, like, things I kind of did wish in Mafia 3 that were there, I was like, kind of like, the safe houses are very shit. I was hoping that we could at least, like, I don't know, buy properties essentially. Or kind of like Vice City, you know, like have a proper safe house, not just like, what's his name, rackets all over the fucking map. That is one thing I do wish for, and like, and I wish they had more weapon slots, as 2 weapon slots honestly is not enough. I'd like to have variations, but you know, I don't find it that big of a deal, but I do see where people are coming from. So yeah. So overall, I mean, this game is honestly like my second favorite Mafia game. First is 1, then third is surprise surprise 2, because essentially this game I think is underrated as fuck. Like, this game doesn't deserve all the hate. If we're talking from like a launch day perspective, yes, I would agree, because this game would be unfinished, more bugs. I mean, there are still bugs now, but like unfinished, half-assed, pre-renders, no outfits, no cars, you know, all this shit. I would agree. I would probably think this game would be very mediocre, very lacking. But essentially, you know, there come those issues. But like what I said, they're underutilized and they could have been like used better. But due to like some lazy ass practices like fucking pre-renders and all that, essentially it kind of like fell into like some complaints essentially in that sense, because I read on the forums that the about the pre-render things to kind of utilize PC performance, but you gotta bear in mind how many people are going to play it on the PC? Like, come on, most people are going to play on the PS4 and Xbox One. That's like a smaller ratio to people who are actually going to play it on PC. So I don't find it that big of a fucking deal. If your computer can't play it, then fuck it. Your computer's shit, essentially. So, yeah, I feel like it was very lazy-assed. Because, I mean, Mafia 2, there was only like 1 or 2 scenes where that issue did happen. Whereas here, it's like some scenes. It kind of really isn't, especially mainly to the scenes where the main scenes, you know, where a lot of the times where you kill the lieutenants, Sam Alcano, it just changed back to his outfit and all that. So yeah, but I do feel like the police in this game is just pretty abysmal. Could have been better, but yeah. So overall, this game, yes, I would recommend it, and I would happily play it for the 4th time, because for this ending, I'm essentially just doing the one underboss, hence why I just killed Cassandra, and next I'm going to kill Burke. So yeah, so thanks guys for watching, please like and please subscribe.